How many subscriptions do you have?
Probably just Netflix and Spotify.
All right, it's saying you have 13 subscriptions, which is cost you around $270 a month.
What?
Six hours in and not a single ad. Check it out. All right, we just take out those 5 baddies real quick and we can all go home and enjoy a nice hot cup of tea. Whoa, do you guys see all those? Oh my God, how are we going to take care of that? All right, we're definitely going to need a tower. Gotta spend the money. We got to be strong. We got to be strong. He's so close. Oh my God. We took care of him. Let's do some. Check out me.
That's funny. That's what I'm gonna do today. She was playing that Uber was on the way. I'm gonna take my wrist on the super saiyan. Take my bitch cause she's too big. Belly the color Caucasian. So take my eyes to the Asian. Her face was blue. Came in the room, she was naked. And she in his face. Said that she wanna roll and I told her take it. She beat up, but I'm in that mode. I'm not pushing the ground when I'm fading. Like a thank God, cause some of my worst situations turn out amazing. And I'm not protected by aces. But I still went and bought me a laser. I got a belly top notch, she A-list. Made a movie and it was X-rated. Smoking loud in this way and then they went right to the fit. This shit how fast. Trust me, I told her, you're not even my bitch, you overreact. My main bitch, remember the best. She even cheating, she got a wife. You know it costs to go be the boss. I'm here to fear every time cause I'm tired. And I'm with the mouth. Press a button and then they go whack. She works for 1,000 words. They had some racks up with no cash. I'm just trying like they ain't out. I ain't tapping out, keep it tight. I should've never hit to see her racks. You see it live in HD. They ain't disguised, they faking. Even when I'm done, they used to say me. In my hood, call me KD. That's cause all the plays I was making. And I'm with the wolves like KD. Count the hundreds before Ben Franklin. My numbers be like Take Key Fatties. They love me in London like Banksy. She want me to pay for that bitch. So my style, like he probably should thank me. She moving like she a rookie. Profit to vet. Pull up in the AMG. This money from start to finish. This money from A to Z. Like that's what I'm gonna do today. She was playing that Uber was on the way. I'm gonna take my wrist going super saiyan. Take to my bitch cause she's too paid. In the belly the color Caucasian. So take my eyes to the Asian. Her face was blue. Came in the room, she was naked.
Look, she texted my phone telling me she had to go. Look, can't show just any bitch in my city, I'm at war. Look, can't have any bitch, but you the lady I adore. Look, and I want your love, but I just want the money more. Look, but
I never been bending shit over. Like you put your hands to your knees. I got to treat like a thought, and she disappeared when I was in green. Like look at me now. Like look at my watch. All the shit she did. I don't know where to stop. Throw my thumb when I come out the lot. To drop myself when she give me top. She said I'm pulling out, I'm in her spot. She give me a look like you ready or not. I got a sweater, I know what the bros. And you look too friend. You don't gotta pretend. I know you like the fourth that I'm in. Like, baby, you the one. Even though you look 10. And I know I'm the one. But I'm not what I know. Look, she texting my phone, telling me she at the door. Look, bitch, with just any bitch in my city, I'm at war. Look, can't have any bitch, but you the lady I adore. Look, and I want your love, but I just want the money more. Look, I got a couple of questions like, what do you want from me? Is it me or the money? Look, I know you in love and I want your company. Bitch, you gon' gang, but I gotta go. I'm about to get it back for a show. And I got some gumbo. You got papers in tow. I got a new Porsche. Cause I'm in parole. But I still got you already know. She texting my phone, telling me she at the door. Look, get you with just any bitch in my city, I'm at war. Look, can't have any bitch, but you the lady I adore. Look, and I want your love, but I just want the money more. What's that thing that make it to the whole shit? I'm feeling warm. Two watches, DNG, we gon' take the pressure, G. Always down with mayonnaise, got some love, AK. All these shopping sprays, straight. I'm on to H to J, don't be looking at my cup. This is lemonade. I just bought you H to J, and I'm thirsty, spray shade. 50 round, you carry away. Tell the club I'm sick. Baby, this is not first for the day. Said I'm out of work, she said dirt, watch it float away. All this I'm on my head. 20, praying to the Lord, show my fucking problem, go away. Stay hanging out, on the block. Never see you strippers, they make bitches drink. Never see my drip. I don't start a deal, out of jail, spin on jail, start a jail, start fire, anybody cover chick. I was carrying for it, so as I tell you for it, so that run, chick, she do, she should run, she's working, can't black, she's about to stay back, it's like you mustache, I just can't bite you. Beat on my head, you. I'm a smooth king, you. Still living rest, you. You just saw you right, you. Never give me a call, you. Feeling down this vault, you. Chopping it down the vault, you. How's that down the goat, you. Full money down the float, you. If you ain't know, then you know it, you. You know, the dope, instead of conversation, I always want a spaceship. Too much in a spaceship. Figure on the face, come like you're amazing. Nigga jump the hate, then you keep on telling so much of this patient. About you hating. Falling from the cages, I see you in ages. Keep them never fading, and I drink a plane. You ain't ever say shit, baby, I'll be twerking. I know I ain't have a patience. I ain't got my faith. Couldn't see me hate. Scared. Nigga fucking pay me. So you know, you know shit about me. 2,000 on the couch, please check the answer. This shit about shit. I was just about shit. So don't you touch shit. I'm hustling to the couch shit. Put me off the fire shit. I can't check which outfit. It's from the A5. She knows your thousand. I like how she bounces. She know I got you for sauces. Fresh with you from bouncing. And she showing noses. Chicken cozy. I took a picture and she posted it. Get a story and roll it. They see that's why you go with it. She took my shit open it. Got me on this in the stove shit. Took a couple souls you did. I treated like my whole open it. You don't know how deep it is. You see how come you piece of shit. My pocket trim to eat shit. You know I gotta keep it. And 2 watches, they ain't cheating. We don't trust the face and name. Ay. Watch this DNG, we don't touch the face of G, hey. All the way down with mayonnaise, that's what love, hey. All these shots we spray. All up to A to J, don't be looking at my cup, this is not no lemonade. I just bought you A to J, and I'm thirsty, stay fade. Oh shit. Bought you A to J, and I'm thirsty, spray fade. Finish, how we carried away. Tell them I'm serious. Tell them I'm serious. Tell them I'm serious. This is not for the day. Sit on my water, sit dirt, water, open on my knees. Praying to the Lord, showing for the bottom, go away. To the Lord. And now I'm sitting down, I rock Gucci flops, I buy 2 pop, I be like, fuck the car, my double cup, stay hanging out, bottom of the block, diamonds in my eye, I can't hear.
A critical Game 1 win and are now poised and prepared as they attempt to take a 2-0 lead against the Houston Rockets. Round 1 of the NBA playoffs continues.
We are just about ready to get underway here in Game 2 of the first round of the Basketball playoffs. 2K Sports bringing to you live with featuring the Warriors.
I'm always on a spaceship.
Surveying the D to the paint. Against KD. It's up a three. Drills the
pointer. We often talk about Gordon's scoring ability, but there, great speed to an open teammate.
pass to KD. Gordon with the rebound. Everly gets the ball. And Curry picks him up defensively. Here's the name. And the name with the steal.
Everly knows how to play basketball, guys.
F.A. with me. Vibe out, lady. All you ladies. Like Rockabye Baby. Like my spot gated. They got in the Beamer. I got a Mercedes. I'm rocking the latest. Hey, chick, I'm the greatest. Hey, chick, I'm upgraded. Hey, she anticipated. I'm never debated. Hey, quickly this game. It's 11 a.m. A nigga still up. I'm running it up. I'm getting shit done. I get it done. That's just some fun. Shoot at your dread, shoot at your butt, pass the bun. I butt with it come. I do with it run. I said, what is to you? I am the one. Tip in the park. I can walk in the park. It's like R&B dark. And we been apart. Show like on the park. What? I told her I do. What? They smoking the cool. Bitch, I'm the cool. What? I just, what? What? Hit you with two. I down this cup, but I don't seduce it. Down on the coochie, I might get the dually. Then the truly, these niggas fruity, all the way through, stick in the booty, all Massachusetts, tried this, bitch is foolish, bitch make a hoolish, bitch tell I can do this, I told her I do this, hey boy alley-oop, I sound like a what, more clip than a who, I need a what, I'm in the club, that should be making a movie, making a what, my eyes tell you what, you tried to look, you dodging a bullet, I tell you bougie, still with no fuga. I just in my shooter, I try not to snooze. When I say two, nigga, like Finny tattoo, nigga. Tell me something new. I'm wearing something new. She gave me the clue. Like, okay, no, I'm in the food. Yeah. I'm in the mood. Yeah. Chicky's a stoop. What? Da-da-da. Yeah, get in the bag. What? Get some cash. What? I bought a bunch of bags. What? I got the swag. What? I don't mean to brag. What? My pants is tight. What? I still told a fan. What? I ain't your friend. What? You ain't my man. I can buy me some land, nigga. As soon as I land, nigga. My house looks grand. Yup. You hit with the fan, nigga. Ain't talking to fans, pussy. Whoa! Fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? We might get y'all niggas up out of here at 4. I ain't playing no games. Y'all niggas ain't on our level. I'll be sale. We get no heads. I see him praying.
Hard shots are either from 3 or at the rim. But he can do this too. Warriors lead by 3.
What up, folks? Can't get that though.
Here's Hastings. Capella covering. The shot's good for Hastings. Hastings got 10 points.
Think about What I got cut? Like funding a what? Right in the throw. Just look at his head. Like it was fast. Look at the chick. Where is it at? Hey, is she perfectly? I can chill that. What are the cheese? Hollow chip. Talking game. Walking game. Second dirt, so we gonna take a hollow. And then no she bottle. And Marshall bottle. Like a bottle. Stacks on dead game. Glory game. That's my game. Trap one, trap two times. Trap one more time. One more time. 1-800 high shit.
I don't think you can design a better score than that. I mean, range from deep, touching the rim, excellent handle.
Some changes for Golden State.
Bricks in a row. Pull up a stud. Pull up a dub. Push in the truck. Call up Pablo. That's the bar.
WWE Night Champions 2025 will take place on Saturday. It will be out Saudi Arabia. Several intriguing matches on the card. Lots of interesting developments will take place on this particular show. Let's make some predictions for how it all will unfold. Let's start with the prediction for the Queen of the Ring winner. Jade Cargill goes 1-on-1 with Asuka. First time ever these two have faced off in singles competition. Maybe the first time they faced off in a match, period. Don't quote me on that. I can't imagine. If they have, it hasn't been many times, whether it's a tag team match or some other sort of combination of a match. But clearly, this is a huge opportunity for Jade to be in the ring with someone like Asuka, widely considered one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. So for however many, long period you want to look back at, Asuka is up there. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, this fatal return, you go in there with someone like this. Again, this is one of the biggest singles opportunities she's had in WWE, maybe the biggest, when it comes to having the chance to prove that she is potentially one step closer to being a women's world champion in WWE. And so, if you remember, back when we talked about this, coming out of the last PLE, Money in the Bank, initially we're coming up with a roster of potential favorites to win these tournaments, both the King and Queen of the Ring. And immediately we sort of went to Jade as a strong possibility just because of all the different dynamics you have right now on SmackDown. And that is Naomi having the Money in the Bank briefcase. Tiffany Stratton is the champion, but you kind of see we're getting closer to that point where you think, all right, Tiffany is probably not going to be the champion for that much longer, considering sort of how long this reign has been thus far. And so, if you're looking at it from that perspective, where Naomi maybe potentially becomes the champion, if Jade is your Queen of the Ring winner, she gets that big one-on-one opportunity, her highest profile singles match ever, the first two months of SummerSlam, and then you see the whole dynamic of where does Bianca Belair fit into all of this. To me, that really gives you kind of that new sort of fresh look on the women's side of things on SmackDown when it comes to that championship. And so, I think that, for me, makes this prediction fairly easy when it comes to predicting that Jade Cargill will be the 2025 Queen of the Ring winner. Let's go to the King of the Ring winner. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. We've been hyping up this potential match for over a year now on this channel, thinking that we were going to get there a little bit sooner than we had. And also probably thinking there would be a much longer build to a Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. But we're going to get that on about 5 days notice here. As of course, Cody will be on Raw. to advance to the final to take on the Apex Predators. And now, this is something where, yes, you're going to have something they can do on SmackDown, which sort of furthers, the issue, the personal sort of, nature of this whole match. But yet, these are two friends, right? Orton said that Cody's like a brother to him, but Orton would not stop to get that opportunity to get another chance at John Cena for everything that happened at Backlash. And so, that is kind of your story from that perspective for Randy Orton. But what's the story here for Cody, right? Because he is facing someone like Orton and knowing that, hey, this is a match that people have been waiting for a very long time. Like I said, that's not exactly the setup we thought we would get way back when. We thought it would be a much sort of, longer type of deal with Randy Orton maybe turns heel. They're doing the little teases where he's staring at the championship, in the back, in the locker room, that stuff. But now it's just simply Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, one-on-one. Both still baby faces. And how does that dynamic play into this match? Well, you would probably think you may get a little bit of that sort of old Randy Orton come out of this match because he has said he will do anything to get back that championship or that opportunity for the championship against Cena. And so, from that perspective, it won't be that shocking to say to see a few of those heel tendencies from Randy Orton. Are we going to see those heel tendencies from Cody? Depends. Again, I don't think Cody's in a position he's going to be turning heel anytime soon. Will happen down the line, probably at some point, but I don't know that we're there. Certainly not yet. But will we see any of that stuff come out, knowing what you have to do to beat Randy Orton, right? And so, I think from that standpoint, you guys know my pick on this, and it's probably not going to be too surprised. Cody Rhodes is going to be the pick for the King of the Ring win. And I think, like I said, it's an interesting option because we know that Cody has already pinned John Cena at Money in the Bank in that tag team match. Usually it seemed like that would be some easy setup to get to Cody versus Cena Part 2 at SummerSlam, but they decided to go the route and make Cody earn it in this tournament, and I just can't imagine that anyone other than Cody Rhodes wins this thing now. Cody Rhodes is the pick for the King of the Ring winner in 2025. I think the most kind of appealing thing coming out of this is that you can get a little bit more of that personal nature added to this match coming out of it. Eventually, that does lead to maybe a Randy Orton turn for that next match down the road, which you would think this will probably still be something we get back to within the next 6 months or so, just based on Cody is champion again, then Orton maybe takes aim at Cody and you kind of recall the history they have with this particular match. My prediction, Cody Rhodes is the king. Alright, another prediction for the show is that Rhea Ripley is going to get a win over Raquel Rodriguez. Very simple. That's my prediction for that one. I think, it's got one where they set this up on Raw. You're going to have a street fight. Raquel versus Rhea. Raquel put Rhea through the table on Raw. To me, that's all I needed to see. Now it's Rhea getting her revenge. And these two have some history as well, but I think you're clearly setting up a dynamic.
Which I keep making Roxanne lose pay-per-view. It's like her third, fourth loss pay-per-view.
This whole
she does not one
on Raw has gotten a lot more fascinating.
Which I'll hyper her up like she did next.
Io Sky really has not defended the championship much at all since WrestleMania. Has she defended it since WrestleMania? I don't even know. But it's been a while. And so, something where Rhea gets to win here and maybe, do kind of get Rhea back into that picture when she's looking at possible World Championship scenario here for her. You don't exactly know what that looks like heading into it from, the World Heavyweight Championship side of things on the women's side for SummerSlam, but we'll probably talk more about that coming out of the show. I think it's just your basic, hey, we're adding another match to this card, which is a card that is, as we've seen thus far, it is a pretty stacked card. That's what Saudi Arabia shows now, and how much financial incentive there is to put on the best cards we have on here. So, Rhea versus Raquel, these two know each other well. I think Rhea gets the win. Alright, speaking of a match that was also added to the card, we're finally getting the match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. What's the prediction as it pertains to this? Well, as we said, Karrion Kross has been the devil on the shoulder of Sami Zayn for the longest time now. And finally, Sami snapped. He punched him right in the face on Raw. But we saw Scarlett and Karrion Kross sort of amused by that. And so, we're continuing to get these mind games with Karrion Kross. And, well, he's finally getting back in the ring. And a lot of fans will be excited about that. But I've got to think that now that they're doing this, as we said, we talked about the potential predictions for the King of the Ring semifinal. If Sammy was going to lose, it seemed likely they were going to have him lose that match and go ahead and do this match in Saudi Arabia, get this one out of the way, so you can really start that next chapter for Sammy's story, which we're calling it at WrestleMania 42. With him winning the World Championship for the first time. Remember, as we brought up too, the Royal Rumble next year is also in Saudi Arabia. Is Sammy be the favorite? I have to think right now, he's probably your favorite to win the Royal Rumble next year. And so how does this match, we talked about history that can play in with Cody and Orton now, how does this match play into the history if we're looking back at 6 to 8 months from now for Sami Zayn? And I think that's where we're going to get, kind of a pretty, a good story here when it comes to just thinking about the interactions between these two. My prediction for this match is that Sami Zayn is going to win, because I do think you want to kind of use this to kickstart that next, like I said, evolution of whatever Sammy's story is going to be. Whether that's just Sammy, ultimate underdog, finally winning the Rumble, finally winning the World Championship next year, or does it factor in something else, right? Does Sammy eventually turn and all that kind of stuff? I just think it's the way things are set up now. You look at the schedules and what they've done over the past couple months, gotta think that's where we're headed. And I think Karrion Kross kind of, as we said, with the devil on the shoulder for Sami Zayn that he has to at least put aside temporarily, as he continues to figure out what the next step is for him to get to the World Championship. And so this is a good chance for Karrion Kross to get back in the ring, because we said he's got a lot of momentum right now for the fans. But I just don't know that I see a scenario where Karrion Kross wins this match. I mean, it's got to be Sami winning. And I think, as we said, all the elements combined, somehow in this match, there are some of those things you call back on. If we do get to the scenario, Sammy has a chance to win the Rumble in Saudi Arabia early next year, and if he's fighting for the World Championship next year at WrestleMania 42. So my prediction, Sami Zayn triumph in his long-awaited match with Karrion Kross. Another prediction for the show, well, it's got to do with the United States Championship match. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa. I love you, Solo. I hate you, Solo.
I love you.
I love you, Jacob. Maybe Solo's gonna hate you.
That's my boy. Fuck with Solo, man.
It's about what we're gonna get elsewhere, and that is, of course, involving the potential dominoes that we've already seen start to fall with
Solo would have passed on the mic.
This is, again, the OG program here. We're talking, tying everything to the way things have kind of worked, as we know, dating back to last year, where you had Solo trying to be the tribal chief. They brought up some of the history here recently, with Solo talking about why he brought in Jacob Fatu. Now, he was the only one who gave Jacob a chance. Meanwhile, Fatu talking about how he thinks Solo just brought him in to keep that power, to gain that power, right? Is playing the role of the tribal chief and all these things. And so everything has finally gotten to this point after Jacob Fatu basically turned on Solo with Money in the Bank, cost him that opportunity, and now the United States Championship is on the line. And again, this isn't just about the match to me, it's about the outside factors in this match, which we know there's already one pretty obvious. It's JC Mateo, who's been having a new custom for Solo a year late.
Greetings, one and all. The postseason drama we love, and no disappointment here as it's a close game so far for the Houston Rockets.
No surprises this close, not gonna lie. They played some weak D, giving them too many easy open looks.
Mincing, no words, as usual. We'll see if Coach can get into their heads. Looking at the series breakdown for the Warriors. They were able to hold serve in Game 1, but they'll need that same effort to make the most of their home court edge.
Yeah, don't get comfortable. It's only one game. Yeah, it was a game that they were supposed to win.
Yeah, but you got a great chance to take a commanding lead in this series, Jack. You can go up 2-0, and I don't see them losing this.
It's rock solid expectations on this game. And that'll do it for halftime. We send you back to Kevin Harlan, who has the second half call.
One of the dominoes we said that could fall had to do with the Usos. We saw that last week on SmackDown when Jimmy Uso got involved. We had kind of the stare down between Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso as he came to help, and then, you kind of had that 2-on-2. Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso on one side, you've got, Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo on the other. There's still a lot of, again, outside parties that get involved here. You've got the Tons. We said we don't know exactly what their time frame is for what they're going to return. If they do come back here, how do they factor into the match? We know that if you brought Jimmy Uso out into this whole picture now, which we thought was a possibility, where does Jey Uso fit into this? And does Jey somehow play a role in this match, knowing that Jey is not on this card? My guess is you probably want Jey somewhere on this thing. Not in a match. He's not going to be wrestling officially now that he lost King in the ring. But I think you want Jey on this show. So from that perspective, do you put Jey in a possibility where he somehow now gets connected to this because maybe it is something where Jimmy gets beat down, something like that, and Jay's the one who has to make the save for his brother. I think that is certainly an interesting thought getting into it. And then, of course, there's the big one out there, the Hikuleo. He's still out of the wild card in this whole deal. Whose side is he going to join? Well, if you put the numbers together, depending on when the Titans come, if they're not in a position where they're about to return, you can certainly see a scenario where Jacob Fatu, the Usos, maybe on one side, you've got Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, Hikuleo on the other side. So, my prediction for this match is that there's going to be a big vote in this whole saga. Maybe, whatever you call it, the road version of Bloodline, however you want to do it. But there is going to be something here where I think we get another sort of person becoming a real central focus of this feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. What does that mean for the match? Well, I think it's a little hard to predict, maybe you would think, because of the dynamics between who's going to fall where in this whole thing. I think Jacob Fatu winning is probably still a likely scenario, but if you wanted to get that title off of Jacob Fatu and put it on Solo, introducing a new member here and having Hikuleo potentially side with Solo or something like that, maybe the Tonga who return and somehow they're aligned with it, right? That could be something where you could do that, and you've got Solo, JC Mateo, and the Tongans on one side. Maybe you've got Jacob Fatu, the Usos, and Hikuleo on the other. Although, again, that's going to be a hard sell for me on the heel side of things if that's your lineup, because the babyfaces would be heavy favorites in an 8-man tag. But I'm not going to deny the idea that I think if they're going to introduce this new member, and this is what we see, or maybe Hikuleo comes in, or, like we said, the possibility of the Tongans returning. I can't exactly, push aside the thought that Solo might win this title, because I do think that is a realistic possibility here, just based on wanting to further this story a bit more. And if they are going to add all these, new characters into this, like I said, bringing Jay back into it, bringing the other guys back into it, then I think Solo winning probably is the one, because that furthers the story a bit further. So, not going to lie, I'm kind of split on this. I'm a little 50-50 on whether Fatu wins or Solo wins. But I think the bigger story here is that there's going to have to be somebody getting involved here, and maybe multiple somebodies, into maybe something big at some point. Alright, and then the prediction for what could happen in the main event. John Cena versus CM Punk. One last time, or they're going to fight again on the road to Cena's retirement coming up in December. We all know the backstory here between these two. The history is there. Everything is there for this to be one that, will be a very memorable match on this John Cena retirement tour. Cena called back, he got the pipe bomb on SmackDown last week, and you started to see some of the things turn, right? You saw the crowd reaction turn a little bit to John Cena. Even teams of people saying, hey, this is what we wanted for John Cena heel turn all along. This is what it should have been for John Cena, rather than some of the stuff we've had to navigate over the past couple months. And so, I think this is a match where prediction is very simple. I think John Cena is going to walk out as the undisputed WWE champion. But the bigger prediction may be simply the fact that this has a lot to do with, as we said, what can happen here to get Cena further back to what he needs to be before he retires. And we said it just felt like the past
you can see the little
just playing
the little
a heel character, right? He was just sort of playing this over the top
guy
also
loyalty, respect,
fans,
once in a segment.
But I
They
think
gave you the
got
little troop, the little
back to where you needed to be.
the army little troop salute shit.
Was kind of leaning into some of this. I'm not saying I thought it was the
They're
best
showing you this shit little by little.
You know, it was going to be able to match
go
the
back
first
fake.
Python we've seen many years ago for obvious reasons. It's a different time and different place. But I think now when you look at the way maybe that John Cena is going to be seen in this match, although you can't see it, the fans are going to react positively to John Cena. This is the last time John Cena will be in Saudi Arabia. So we know, as we talked about some of the other spots, John Cena is going to get cheered a lot. But you do have him in there with CM Punk, which there is, of course, an interesting history with Punk there too, as he heads to Saudi Arabia. That's kind of been the story somewhat of this match, where, you know, Cena calling him out for being a hypocrite and all this other stuff. But I think this is where you are going to have one of those, we've talked about the character arc of John Cena. You're going to have one of those big sort of developments here, I think, because this has to put you closer to your ultimate end destination for John Cena, and this is, as we said, one of the biggest matches you can do for Cena on this tour. Of this final chapter for John Cena as a professional wrestler, this was one of the biggest matches you could do. I don't think you're just throwing this away for a simple John Cena's going to get DQ, he's going to hit Punk with the belt, and we're on to the next one. You have to have a lot more layered in here in terms of the story, because I think this is the one that ultimately could be kind of the catalyst, as we said, for getting John Cena back to where he's supposed to be by the time he hangs up the boots. So my bigger prediction for this match is that this will be the most sort of significant thing yet we've seen from John Cena on this road after Elimination Chamber, I guess you could say. I mean, that's probably still the biggest moment of the retirement tour for Cena. But the bigger prediction here is that this has to be something, I think, that is going to wind up being the thing we look back on and say, all right, that was one of the biggest things Cena did during this retirement tour in 2025. And I don't think that necessarily goes into the match outcome. I think that there is something in this match where you see, again, knowing what the reaction will be, seeing John Cena for the last time here, and it's kind of a fun setup. Even though the winner feels obvious, I think it's a fun setup. It's long history you can draw on. So there you go. There's some predictions for Night of Champions. You guys, as always, let me know what you think. Give me some of your biggest predictions for Night of Champions.
Everly with the ball. And Curry picks him up defensively. Those plays can make a difference in a game like this. Well, you know it's going to fire up, Greg. Everybody on that bench.
Push the wall. Oh, yeah, you shit this bad. That's the bill. They paid y'all. This ain't got nothing to do with me. This ain't got shit to do with me. I ain't as nice as old boss. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't nice, but I'll come down there and say, black off. 2 moves, 2 days. They ain't 5 starters. Oh, they ain't done. Yeah, they lost one of their best players, so they got to do something. And we all knew that they didn't win this year. So all this time they were going to make moves. Yeah, when we say something was weird when they won a championship, supposed to be going back to back, and they sold the team. We were talking about that earlier. It was weird, but shit, we strike one hot though. I know, but we bonus. If you hold a back to back, that's a bigger strike. That's a bigger strike sale now. Hey, there's something going on. So $6 billion deal, that almost was the largest sale. Yeah, it's worth for 4 million. So you just provide $10 billion. You spent $6 billion. That's the fact that you spent $6 billion. You don't want to have or salary cap of what you have. So obviously, you put all the motherfuckers on sale. It's hot cake time. The Mavs obviously saw this world shot. The Lakers $10 billion. Valuation it together. It's going down. Put it all together.
And here's Livingston.
Who sold what? Big market team. Around the same time. Things to make you say Austin,
say it was last touched by Durant.
The Lakers sold
kind of stifling effort on defense.
Majority ownership they'll still retain. They want to go.
Was something.
Also saw majority ownership. That's a real question. You shake some shit up. Or making some moves.
Gordon against
Or they can be just like Kenny Martin, son.
Puts it up from 12.
Got this shit for free. I inherited this shit for free. That's a free $10 billion right there. You split the money. The industry, he can sell it whatever you want. That's Jenny Bucks. It's a free $10 billion. It's not like she. You know what I mean? Most of these guys think about when they bought the team versus, you know, so it's really all profit for them. So,
Capella sets a screen for Gordon.
Gordon games and Jordan. You get off those assets you always want to get off of. You don't have to get blamed for it now. We can make moves that we should have made, and he gonna take the heat because he don't know better. But he's the new guy, so he gonna get over it. We can take 2 years to get past that because we're gonna bring in some real guys. But the shit is shaking up. Why would we just get go from there to there? That's some shit we're going. Yeah, I don't know. Don't do that shit. It's a lot of other shit going on too.
If you feel like this team is maybe being overvalued, so these owners are looking, previous owners are looking, man, shit, let me get the bread down. For everybody looks under the hood, figures out what's really going down. No, just $10 billion for the Lakers is that's a lot. I don't know. That seems like a lot.
You see it seems like a lot?
Yeah, I really think Mama. So I'm gonna invite him. You set the whole market obviously with the Donald Sterling situation.
I don't think he did at all. You know, about the two franchises, the Lakers would be should be 8 billion more.
Yeah. So when I played at the point when he bought them for $2 billion, teams were like 500, 800 million around.
100%.
Like what he just sold for what, 253? It was the lowest sale.
But you see that as a landmark real estate right there for Ballmer. He's like, even though it's in LA and I might get it for this, it's gonna be valuable because we look at who we decide.
Exactly.
You know,
so he can resell right now and get $8 billion. Yeah, we got more. So he bought him for $2. Now he think all compensation.
Right now, just because of that evaluation of $10 billion, like we can get that. It's not
That's all this has ever been. It's business. It's
NBA moving. They moving inside the business too. They're making business.
The Lakers people can take how much? 6? Who? Mama? No, like 60 million, 65 back in the day alone. The order got to zero. She inherited. That's sort of $0.
I'm just $10 billion.
It's $10 billion. Yeah, but that was the talk when Ballmer bought the Clippers for 2. When the Clippers were 2, then what are the Lakers worth? What are the Yankees worth? You know, what are all these other franchises, NFL franchises as well? So reset the whole market. These are the conversations fans don't want to have because they don't want to admit that it is a business. So when we're talking about your team want to win, wait, bro. I've had this conversation with all of them. If I give you a team for 10 years, guaranteed 5 in 10 years, you profit $500 million for 10 years of the same team.
How many subscriptions do you have?
Probably just Netflix and Spotify.
Alright, it's say you have 13 subscriptions, which just costs you $270.
What?
You can cancel the ones you don't want right through the app, and it can even help you.
It's $2 billion. Which one do you take?
And on the flip side, the defenders have to show
All day.
fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance.
He got the 5 rings. He got the 5 rings for bragging rights. About my team, that's all that is. I'm going to $2 billion. I'm not this. When theory those rings would impact team valuation increase, but you also got to pay for parades. He said it costs money. He said it costs money to win shit. Right? This is when Boston won. Because Boston made 0 profit because of how much they spent on KG, all of that.
they cost to put on parades.
It's not for that. It's like 45, 65 minutes. Yeah, how many do they cost all the parades? They shouldn't all day. A parade? City should pay for it.
Just like
What the calls? They got these two buses. Motherfucker, that's where we going. I'm gonna stop. What? Could be riding around. Motherfucker drive their own car. Let the windows down. Wait.
it just follows some
Follow this shot. Say what they was gonna take this room. And drive your own car. Don't let people dealership today. Donate and convert.
I done got 2 violations. Nigga, my ass. I'm blitzed. My ass is
and trailers and shit. The Warriors get like $4 million on there for raise. Some teams are cheaper. I mean, other things.
There's such thing as
That's my point, though. So you don't win that shit, you don't win on that bread.
there's such thing as bad only.
A bad owner.
I mean, depends on mismanagement of investments and just know the game though. Just you know what you're looking for at that point. We're looking at a good owner. We're looking for a good owner that's making good business. As far as what the evaluation y'all talking about, as far as what's a good price point for a team. It just depends on what, when, where, and what they depends on history and all that matters. So as an owner, what are my values? You said that the rings in comparison to the money.
So did the Bus family own the land that the Staples and Crypto is sitting on?
I don't think Staples and Crypto, once they own the farm, everybody.
So how about the read? He owns the land that Madison Square Garden is sitting on. So that's why it's worth that, but the land is big sit.
Just last point. You said it under your breath. You said so subtly that it didn't hit as hard as it should have, but that winning championships does increase the evaluation. That's right. That's why the $10 billion is $10 billion for the Lakers because it's attached to legacy, right? Everything else we're saying, I'm gonna take the $2 billion because it's more than the legacy. But when the evaluation hits, I made my money back, but my valuation is not going to be higher than that, which I would have championships attached to it. It could be. So for me, I think that the evaluation the owners have been taken the wrong way. As if, like I said, bad owners. If there could be a bad owner, he can be making bad decisions by making that decision, taking the money over the legacy because it's immediate, because he's a gambler or he's a risk taker. He wants immediate ROI. But to me, I'm like, I look at the guys who took those chances with legacy. They last longer and they cashed out with more.
But these two franchises that sold, Boston,
got his first basket of the night.
The only one who don't have multiple championships is that, right? Boston sold for 6. This sold for 10. They have the most championships in sports, so that's Boston.
Boston got the AJ West.
It lines up. So it lines up. It lines up. So
market for LA else. What if Milwaukee had 5 championships? Would that change? No. Would they sell for 6 valuation? No, it would change for sure. I don't think they'll sell for 6 or 8. The evaluation ain't from where it is. No, that's what I'm saying. The market is the market. It's the market. Like, if it's the market, then the owners who are actually playing that money game, should they be playing that money game if they're not in the big market?
Yeah, because it's still a business for them. Like a lot of them do, that's like second, third, like third business that they like. So they ain't like a lot of them
to make winning not a priority.
They don't care. Like so, for a long time, Dolan this was so long. So Dolan for a long time was considered that bad that you speak. Right? As an owner, among owners and in the public, towards everyone else, he's bad on the top because of how he did, how he ran, right? It was a fucking business. It was a right? You say that I got this and this is my new toy, this is my toy, what y'all gonna do? And owners look for how he was doing it, going to buy it. But amongst the public, everybody thought, what the fuck is he doing? Right? So he was looked at as that.
17-foot shot on the way. Thompson misses.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets yanked soon. I mean, that's how bad his shot selection has been.
Here's Harden. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
Another guy who can light up the scoreboard. Harden is a stat sheet stuffer.
Curry passes to West. Taken away by Nene. Gordon with it. Picked up by Thompson. Gordon against Thompson. Pass to Nene. Here's Capella. David West grabs the miss.
Not pretty. You just got to shake off a miss like that.
Thompson dishes to West. Here's Livingston. It's deflected. Harden outside. Basket made. That gives him 7 field goals in 13 tries.
How good is that? Harden commanding the ball in these moments. Loves stepping up at crucial times.
Pass to Hastings. Down low. Some nice passing by Golden State. Puts up a deep three. Sinks it.
I think because it's New York City, I can do this. It's New York City. It eats off itself. So I don't have an incentive other than just to play around. If he was winning, that's what I was about to say. If he has a championship, doesn't that change not only his pedigree, his mentality, but the valuation now? New York City on its own is valued at this. And that's when they win. You got now use our imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely would be more, but it just that hasn't been.
So New York sold themselves with what, 8? They'll go 8-10. Right. New York will go 9-10. Yeah, with no ring. No ring. Right. Lakers go for 10. They have the Knicks bigger market. But now the Knicks jump up. It takes away the whole theory of winning, because when Clippers sold at $2 billion, that was damn near triple of any franchise. That was one guy. No championship. No championship. That was willing to pay that. And that's because they wanted to be the owner of the NBA. He was willing to take that risk. It wasn't because they were worth that. It was he was willing to take that. He was willing to go in. I'll take that.
The sports fans, basketball fans, sports fans, envious first. He got the money to do it.
To live in LA. And it's LA.
The Clippers are now valued at $5.5 billion. So that too is already down for the number.
Yeah, but Cowboys is smart about it. Cowboys' #1 franchise is worth $16 billion. Yeah. And when was the last time they won? America's team. You know, like Michael Jordan was a good owner.
Couldn't have been. There was no proof.
So you gotta think about you and the public. So you and the public is two different things. In the business community, I'm a winner. I'm a winner.
Like Indiana faces $3 billion, I believe. Whatever Indiana faces sell for right now, whatever they bought it for, whatever it was like no cheap thing. So let's shift this back to the Celtics Hawks. Porzingis shift to the Hawks now. So Porzingis played 65 games with the Wizards in the 22-23 season, 57 the next year with the Celtics, 23-24 in that championship run. I believe he was dealing with a leg injury in that. And 42 games this past season while he was dealing with the mysterious illness that they still haven't quite put their finger on. So he only played 7 games one time in his career, and that was his rookie year with the Knicks. Was it fair to say that Porzingis' run in Boston was disappointing or underwhelming based on that move?
But he got a ring.
They got it. They won a ring. They won a championship while he was there. Was he played a big part over the top? He's out there for some of it, so he got it. So he worked out.
It depends on what you got. Yeah. See him in career, and it all depends on that player, because when his career is done, that's all he has is his finger. So you can't say it was a disappointment. He got there, they won a ring, whatever he did in his 65 games, they'll do get closer.
So back to the Celtics, 2 of their 5 starters are traded. Obviously, Tatum will be down some extended time, but according to a report by Shams, Celtics phones are ringing off the hook with teams inquiring about Jaylen Brown and Derek White. While Boston is listening to offers, they aren't expected to make a move with either player unless they get an offer that they can't refuse. So you think the Celtics should keep blowing up the roster or let this group hold it down until Tatum returns?
Brother, here's the back page.
I have no idea, but
This is
on the front page.
He's from being that back page.
I'm not back page.
This is like it's like imagining like backstage, you got the regular prices, and then somehow it's Black Friday. Right, so all those people on there have been there. They open. They listen to whoever wanna throw some money at it, and that's what's going on. Like the talk is out that they are willing to break up the whole team right?
Just
And
a
everybody's
massive
gone.
victory, Greg. Maybe it's
And that's what's been
overstating
going
it,
on.
but
It's a fire
this
thing.
was a game they
You know,
had to
put it on the
have.
market. Tell me what you want.
It's overstated.
What do you want? What do you want, boy?
I mean,
Hey,
going
what you
down
got for me?
2-0
Huh?
would have
And
given this
that's all
team
that's
a
going on.
huge
They're not trying to win no more. They don't care.
Even an injured Jason Tatum.
and with some momentum, this is
Like, even an injured Jason Tatum can go right now.
So somebody can go wrong or somebody
throwing the right shit at them right now.
Greg Anthony and David Aldridge. This
Yeah.
is Kevin Harlan thanking you
Absolutely.
for watching.
If somebody was smart and say, hey, listen,
I would.
me knowing it's his right foot, it's not his jumping foot, so he should be fine, or 80% he's going to be fine and back to normal because it's not his dominant leg, I'll go off right them motherfuckers right now. I know that, okay, this year, next year, probably gone, but, you know, cool.
Just next
You might give me something for it. You be like, oh, he's injured, he's done. And then I can give you some bullshit for him. And
so you said, I would say the Celtics are throwing in the towel, but if you look around the Eastern Conference landscape right now, Allie's going to be out extended time.
Owners, man, they don't give a fuck. This is new.
It's the same thing like with the Bucks. When the Bucks won the championship, they got the new owner. They came in, drew you out here. Like they don't.
They don't.
It's my turn. Like it's we're gonna do it my way.
Yeah, who? We like him. Yeah, he can stay. But shit, everybody else, I don't.
Never in my life seen a nigga move into somebody's house and they got their furniture there and keep it the same way.
Yeah.
hey, all these drink sauce and take this bed with your goddamn. You can take these leather couches, goddamn it. I got my own. You come in with your own shit. There's gonna be people fired.
Somebody doesn't get like you said. Somebody get remarried, right? The new woman come in, she like. Yeah. No, for
even if she like the shit,
this is nasty. I would never.
I would never.
This is the taste you have to follow.
That's coming up for sure.
And you live with her with this?
Oh, that's what I was
doing there. When you go to Instagram and look at
it's called furnish. This is furnish, baby.
Oh, that's
listen. Ain't no bringing your own furniture here. You're not gonna be here that long, baby. Listen, you're not even gonna be here that long to enjoy that.
That's your girlfriend. Everything got to go.
Let's put that shit in the dishwasher. You're not supposed to touch nothing. You ain't gonna be here.
That motherfucker trying to put new knobs on
all that.
Cabinets.
None new knobs.
Yeah, she touched them.
She touched them.
She used them regularly.
Right in this toilet?
Oh, yeah, we did that. Yeah. Shower here. I don't know. Why this rain shower? Like, no, we gotta go. The football's going through right now. Listen, hey, unfortunately, sorry, Celtics fans, this is.
Man, this ain't on the wall.
What?
I think we said something about this. Didn't we say something about this? Didn't we say these niggas can go if they don't win them? Yeah. I was going to ask you if the Celtics can still be contending. Didn't we say something about them niggas can go if they don't win them like they supposed to win them? They looking up, they're going to be like, hey, I'm just saying, we said this.
Somebody brought the black light in and turned the lights off last year.
We don't know who shifted.
In a Jurassic world, every Jeep vehicle is Jurassic rated. Experience open air freedom for all. And adventure all summer long.
So we were predicting some moves being made, but it's happening pretty fast. Paul, have your Celtics gotten better or worse after these trades?
Man, they definitely got worse. I mean, when you trade away Porzingis, a borderline all-star, and a player like Drew, some leadership and the clutch gene that he brought to this team and the locker room presence, they got worse. But we all understand what's going on in Boston. You know, they're at a position to where there's new ownership. They're cutting costs. They're playing the long game for a year from now after Jason Tatum gets fully healthy and recovers, hopefully by the end of next year. So we'll be back probably the following season. Who knows how his recovery is going to go. You know, they trained themselves and put themselves in actually a good position, because I think in another year they'll try to play for some cap space. Maybe they'll try to gather some pieces to maybe add some depth. But this is some trades that I'm seeing for the long run, because there's no way you trade Porzingis.
I don't know why the internet's tweaking. That shit, bugging.
And Drew Holiday for
on Didi.
So for better or for worse.
It's funny as hell. My motherfucking manager was talking to me on some wild shit.
Next year, so we're playing the long.
We know you are in this.
And then I was responding to her, and I was like on Didi. She was like, "Who is Didi?" I was like, "Nobody. I just made it up."
James and Drew Holiday. And it's the long game for the future. There's no question about it. But it's just not closed, too. It's also Tatum not going to be available for them next year. So you're missing 3 guys off your championship run and your championship team. So next season, as it comes up in 25-26, they're not
shout out Johnny, nigga.
Team, whatever. There'll be a team, a playoff type team, and that's pretty much it. You can smell the luxury tax. You can smell all of those sort of things, and they wanted to shave some of that off to set things up for the future 2 years from now when they get into free agency or trade for somebody that got a big contract. You can see it's not that difficult to see. I don't know how competitive they're going to be. Of course they are to you, but I don't know how competitive. It looks like the Lakers might be more competitive than them come next year, just based on the way the roster's going. That would be amazing. The Lakers. I just had to throw that in there.
We don't have no problem getting in shape. They talk about get their off-season moves, getting in shape. That's great.
Have the Celtics gotten better or worse?
No, they've gotten worse. What I'm really curious about is if they would have made these same moves if Jason Tatum hadn't suffered what is essentially a season-ending injury for next year. Because they had to make some financial moves. That was the bottom line. We knew that, and we still need to see what's going to happen with Al Horford, but we knew that Drew Holiday.
Yeah, let's listen to this one. I think this one. Interesting.
Who else would I look to? Unless you're going to say there is no face of the league, that we're just faceless right now.
No, the face of the league is still LeBron. LeBron James
we just said
there's a phone break. We're going to talk about it tomorrow.
He is the face of the NBA. No, he's. LeBron James was in a restaurant. Everybody in the restaurant goes, stop. It doesn't reflect that. If Michael Jordan did it, they go sign. That's right. Everybody doesn't mean that Michael Jordan is the face of the NBA.
So, Paul, what does
yes, it does.
title say about the landscape of the NBA?
This title says to me about the NBA landscape, it tells me that the parity is finally here. It tells me that you have 7 champions in 7 seasons. I can't remember off the top of my head when the last time that's happened, because I know every champion from 1977 till today. You know, you have the Lakers dynasty, obviously, in the 80s, the Bulls in the 90s, the Spurs throughout the whole 2000s. And then you had another Lakers dynasty. I can't remember the last time you had 7 champions in 7 seasons. And this is what Adam Silver has always wanted with the new collective bargaining agreement they put in not too long ago. I'm not saying that the era of dynasties is over, because I feel like in every era there's been a dynasty, and maybe some come a bit longer than the other ones, because the Lakers 2000 dynasty, in between that dynasty, you didn't have one until the Golden State Warriors. Or the Golden State Warriors. And that might have spanned across like over 10 years before the next dynasty. So there will be another dynasty. I just don't know who, and it could be OKC. I love that they're just so much I don't know who's going to win next year, because you can easily say, okay, OKC, but we saw the same thing with the Celtics this year. I love what the NBA has done with the parity and the way the players move around now, and it's great for all small market teams. And now that's what's been good for the NBA, small market teams winning.
Yeah, it's just, to me, we've discovered a new way of playing, and we have introduced a new wave of stars to the NBA. The depth and versatility which the Oklahoma City Thunder play, as well as the Indiana Pacers, suggests that there's a new formula. That the riding stars, getting 2 or 3 big stars, and them being the central point to your team, that's not how this worked. And actually, I have a full screen here of the minutes played. I felt like something has shifted. And for me, it's the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, as the number 1 and number 2 players on this team, played the fewest minutes that any top two players on any of the last 5 championship teams have played. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played the most minutes. He played fewer minutes than the second most used player on any of the previous championship teams. It gives you a sense of, if you're going to stay healthy, if you're going to play at the pace that the game is now played, that you have to be able to play 9-10 people, and you have to be able to put out a second team out there that can function on its own. And I think that we saw that there was, whether it was Alex Caruso or it was TJ McConnell, the second units need to be able to perform at a fairly high level if you're going to hope to compete for a title. So to me, that's what we've seen, is that we're really turning the page when it comes to the NBA.
It's really like Paul saying about the parity, right, in the NBA is right now, because what do we have over the last 5 champions? And I don't know how we judge small market. What does that mean? Is it television? What is it? It's just the city? Because
the small market is the size of the city, which it's also reflected in the television market.
Yeah,
they go hand in hand.
No, because even when I won the Super Bowl, they considered Tampa Bay a small market, but from a television standpoint, we were the 7th rated city in terms of television. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what that means. But beside the point that I think, when you look at the parity in the NBA, when you now have Denver that just won recently, Milwaukee before that, and you start looking at now where OKC is at, you have to think from a long-term standpoint, they're in really good shape because they're young. They're not going to be moving on from players anytime soon. They can continue to just kind of grow together. Well, now you'd say to yourself, this will be probably the first team that has a real opportunity to become, like Paul was saying, a dynasty. Whether it wins, next year, don't win, then win the following year, or win 3 NBA titles in the next 5 years. That's the way this organization, the team is looking right now. With all the assets that they have from a draft pick standpoint. And this may honestly be the first small market team when it comes free agency that somebody would want to look at because of the youth on the team and say, I want to join that team. I want to go to this market, even though Paul says there's nothing to do here. I mean, I'm not going to hotel.
So Paul, would you consider looking at this Oklahoma City team?